Hello, people. Let me start by apologizing for not being around last week. I don't. Well, I know exactly what was going to happen. What happened. I was going to say I didn't know what happened. What happened was we did a 3-hour Alien Addict on Friday night. I was in the drinking mood, it would appear, and I stayed up till like 5 o'clock in the morning speaking to Spooky, who was one of our guests, and I got myself obliterated. And it turns out I'm now officially an old man, and I couldn't hack getting drunk, and made myself feel really sick. So yeah, that's why there was no show last week, is because I'm just useless, it would appear. I hope if you watched the show on Friday night, I hope you enjoyed that. I was useless then as well. I was dead tired and cried off halfway through. Who knows? I might not even make the outro of this or the intro of this. I might just go in a second and leave Dave to like talk to you all about things that are probably much more interesting than I'm going to talk about. However, if you do find them interesting, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can become a channel member. You can become a patronizer, and do all those lovely things to help the show. I have done almost nothing as far as promotion for this episode goes. So if you wouldn't mind sharing the episode right now on your social media, do my job for me. That'd be great. All that's out of the way now. Ollie might be joining us later on. He's not here right now, but my friend Dave is here to help me get through the next hour and a half where I take a short amount of time out of my life and think I can save the world on a Sunday evening. But what else? That's what Jesus would have wanted.
Didn't end up well for him.
It didn't. No, it didn't. It ended up terribly for him. I'm going to adjust my camera slightly. So what have you been doing? You haven't been on the show now for what, 2 weeks? Probably in the last 12 months, the longest spell of Daveless Musty Audios.
I had to go see a man about a dog at a place in the South.
How's the dog?
Oh, dog's getting bigger every day. Actually, I mean, I really did have to go see someone about a dog. I got a Doberman.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, she's beautiful. She's getting huge, man.
Huge. Already.
Yeah, it's crazy. Her parent, like her mom, was like 85 pounds, and the dad was like 110, and they're big Dobermans. Like they're big Dobermans. And I was like, oh, smartest dog so far I've ever owned. She's 8 weeks old, going into 9 weeks old, and we house trained her in like 3 days.
Oh, incredible!
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Yeah, it's just she's unbelievably smart. So that's good. The kids, getting used to the puppy. We're getting used to that, and it's like having another baby. So I'm exhausted. And then I went to some other places and talked to some cool places and things, and I listened to your guys' podcast when I was coming back from one of those cool places.
It was a good show. That I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was. It was good. You guys, it was funny. It was funny.
I was quite surprised. I was surprised Ollie. I'm surprised Ollie didn't actually get a community guideline strike for the end of that show, let alone get it monetized. But it all seemed fine. There's been some weird stuff happening in our absence, Dave. And
really?
Yeah, I was a little bit upset because the title I wanted for this episode, I was hoping somebody would like get assassinated in a car or something like that. Well, no, because then the title of the episode could have been Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. But unfortunately, there was a plane, wasn't there? Somebody, the cleanup crew for the chemical spill, they all died in a plane crash, which was mighty strange.
It's a faster way of going than having to tell everyone that most of their lungs have liquefied from chlorine gas.
It's crazy. Like some of the photographs from down there of the rain and what's going on in the cars.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
And the thing is, like, they put out that it was, the vinyl chloride okay, well, that half-life's not crazy long, and it will distribute over time.
Mm.
They're not talking about is all the other chemicals that were on that train.
Yeah,
And
there was another chemical that reacts really bad with that as well, wasn't there?
there was a couple chemicals that react really bad, and that's
Yeah.
why they decided, like, that's why they burned it. There's a
Yeah.
bunch of smart guys at the labs here, and they're like, "No, they if it mixed with X or Y, like, you got a problem. You need to burn it."
Mm.
And they're like, "What about the fall?" I was like, "It's better because, like, say it makes chlorine gas. Chlorine gas always goes to, like, the lowest point. Like, if you have cracks in the foundation of your house, it's now in your basement. It's
Yeah.
it's bad, and that's just
But
one
no,
of the
so
many bad things it can make."
does that just, like, settle?
Yep.
Well, that's just settle and stay until it's then, like, vacuumed away and removed,
Basically.
essentially.
Or
Wow.
until it's so thinned out and dissipated, it huddles up in pockets, and it's burn your skin. It's nasty stuff.
Jeez.
There's other stuff that it makes is just as bad. And I was watching a guy, he was doing pH balance tests on the creek,
Mm.
and they were bleaching the test strips.
No.
Rivers are fine. Rivers are
That's
fine.
awful. I saw the rivers where people throwing rocks into them, and like all the oils had settled like on the bottom. So all
They're
of a
not
sudden,
oil.
well, Joe reminded me of it was the did you watch that Netflix show with, was it Keira Knightley or there's Keira Knightley and there's another girl that looks exactly like Keira Knightley that's also famous and does the same films as her. Is it her? I can't remember, but it was the they find like a barrier. It's like they think it's like a UFO-y sort of thing, and when they cross over it and everything's all warped up and rainbow fucked.
Yeah, it's oh man, I want to say Annihilation, but that wasn't it.
Yes, it was. That
was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It is
But that's what it looked like. That's what the
Padme,
water looked like. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, whatever that chick's name is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's Keira Knightley.
No, Keira Knightley's not Padme. That's it's gonna kill me now. Now I gotta know, man. I can't. Why can I not think of it? I don't know actors and actresses.
No, I don't.
Strong suit.
Clearly.
Yeah, I don't keep. I could care less. I care less what any of those people think or do. Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman. There you go.
Natalie Portman.
I think John P. Adventures would have been on it for us there. He was on the case.
Yeah, he was on it.
But yeah, no, that was crazy. But just that spate of like train derailments, and
yeah.
Now, I mean, I've seen I saw this in the past before the derailment, like the videos about how bad the like U.S. infrastructure is on some like train routes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and it does look awful. Like it looks like it should be these, the commuter trains that go through like India and stuff like that on basically what's like warp train tracks and sticks.
Mm-hmm.
But I would accept that as like someone going, well, this was an accident that was always going to happen. We've been saying it for ages, but for like, what was it? 8? Has there been 8 of them? I think
it's been several.
Yeah.
And not only that, like, so the first one went down, and then there was a second one. It also had vinyl chloride on it, and that was but they were able to contain that. There's been a lot of things. It's hard to I think pull away, coincidence. Things happen, right? Like in Arizona, there was a truck that overturned. Okay, well, yeah, things happen. That's not uncommon. In the labs in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, there was a uranium fire in one of the processing facilities in like the shaft. And I was tweeting about that, and one of the guys who worked there was like, I work there and it's not that. And I was like, oh yeah, what is it? And he like highlighted a news article that I'd already read, and I highlighted the article that says uranium metal fire and sent it back to him, and he blocked me. But yeah, like, so that coincidence, right? Things like that happen. But all the train derailments, if the problem is we're a frog in a boiling pot of water and we can't realize it's boiling.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Paul took in the comments down the bottom. I'm not going to go too much into this because I think the way I look at talking about stuff on YouTube and live streams, if it's in the news and being acknowledged, you're probably pretty safe. but in a conspiratorial manner, that subject is just not being addressed. And I do think it's the sort of thing that will get a channel in trouble. But yeah, definitely that. Definitely, like for anybody not watching this episode, I'm sorry, I'm just not going to use the keywords YouTube wants me to use to fuck me.
Yeah.
Other
than that one,
yeah, the I think the boiling frog thing's right. There feels like I feel like there's a sense of urgency about all this now. I'm not sure why.
It depends. Like, they've been attacking infrastructure, but they haven't really been attacking infrastructure. They've been probing infrastructure. They've been probing vulnerabilities. They've been probing substations and power lines and train tracks.
Who is probing them? That's the real question, isn't it?
Not really.
Well, no, but because I think I don't believe it's a foreign entity, for instance.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. Yeah.
No. Yeah, I just feel like there's something big on the way.
Potentially. I mean, it feels that way, right? But these are also really good distractions from the insanity that is our current administration and among other things in the world. And, like the Nord Stream pipeline getting blown up. Nobody's talking about that.
No, especially not now. I mean, there's evidence there, isn't there? Yeah, that feels like that we can chalk Putin off the list of the
yeah, he didn't blow it up. Yeah. Was it the US and the UK? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they didn't want Germany to play ball. Yeah. The whole thing it's a little scary. It's a little scary. The food processing plants, I love that he brought that up. That is a huge deal no one's talking about.
Well, you brought that up.
My old podcast used to bring that up.
Yeah,
and
but even
we were banned.
The audio. Yeah, I must see audio. You brought that up. What, 6-7 months ago, maybe longer. I mean, I'm noticing well, sorry, I shouldn't say that. I know people are noticing, like certain foods starting to go missing and things like that. Again, with something I still can't quite wrap my head around. Even during the pandemic, when there was things like stagism, like production line and stuff like that, over here on this tiny little island of 80,000 people, there was never anything missing.
Are your grocery prices more than the mainland?
Probably, yeah. Probably.
So then it's more profitable. Like that's
just more profitable.
Your profit margin is far more worthwhile to keep stock. Yeah, they'll charge you more, and you have to pay it.
I saw a really depressing breakdown on TikTok about that the other day, about inflation, and it's perfectly obvious when it's like when it's said. It's just a depressing way to look at it. Where someone was explaining to look, if you go and buy bread, it's all of a sudden it's like the flour doesn't cost more, the water doesn't cost more for it, the salt doesn't cost more, but the people, but your wages, so your time in your life actually is worth less. Yeah, it's I breaking it down like that is just, it's such a depressing thing that all of a sudden, like we've got ourselves in this situation where all we see is the only success we see is of a monetary value, and everything else around it. It doesn't matter whether you're a really good musician or an artist. You can be really, really, really good at it, but it doesn't matter unless you're making money from it. In people's eyes, it's all like it's just a hobby. Then it's a hobby. If you just but I'm like the best figure skater in the world. Oh yeah, but you work in Tesco's. I've been finding that sort of stuff really, really depressing.
Yeah, I mean, how people attach value to things. A lot of things. Inflation is interesting. It's inflation is inherently a hidden tax that people don't realize they're paying. I mean, they get that, yeah, it costs more, but it's more than just that, because the inflation of goods is a devaluation of your currency that you're still being paid in. So you're being dicked twice.
Yeah.
Right? They're robbing your real wage,
Double
and then the
dickage.
cost of things is going up. You're not making more, and everything costs more. So your value is less. Like, that's what happens when you give central banks control like that. But I mean, that's monetary theory, but is what it is. As far as the trains and the bizarre actions go, I think you're going to see more upticks.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see more upticks. I would say infrastructure would continue. My prediction is the next thing is you're going to see some bridges get taken out. That's what I would do. Yeah.
There's only so. I mean, this could be this could be another reason to hype the idea of a war if you want to do this, because then you could, realistically, if you're going to start taking out like bridges as well as just because you can blame a train derailment on luck, you can blame a truck not getting across a stop sign in time before a train goes through it, as that's just dumb luck as well. But if you start having like big bridges collapse, which was structurally sound,
were they?
Well, maybe. I feel like something brick and mortar like that, you're going to have a better reason than dumb luck.
Well, there's a lot of bridges with metal supports. There's a lot, like, I won't go into too many details, but you can buy the chemicals you need off Amazon. They're not even chemicals. Mix them together. You can buy the starter you need, and you can slag anything you want. And then you just let time take its course. It's just knowing where to apply the force and let it happen. And it will look, to all intents and purposes, like just a failure in the infrastructure. I think at some point they're going to have to start blaming domestic terrorists, and America will turn on its own.
Oh, okay. See, that was where I was going with it, that you would have to blame some sort of terrorism for it. I forgot that that would be the obvious thing to do, just because of how polarized everything is.
I think they'll work it up until the next election. That's when probably 18 to 12 months before the next election, they're going to start painting a bad guy. They're already starting to frame bad guys, and they have been through this whole pandemic. Oh, domestic terrorists, whoever they say it is. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So
it's that labor and that anything that isn't a Democrat is far right, that type of thing.
Even then, like, even Democrats, compared to the current administration, seem to be far right. Like, if you're not willing to go cut your kid's balls off, you're a Nazi. So I don't know. I have no idea. You can't really have logical, like, discussions. Like, it's feelings are worth more than facts. Like, reason and logic have no value.
I won't get too into this. Because it is close to home for me. But I had an argument with somebody the other day about just this very issue, and I'll round it up quickly. This is a person that I've known for a good 10, 15 years, maybe not 15 years, good 10 years, and we've now fell out. Oh no, sorry, she's now fell out with me. Hopefully, she hasn't fell out with me, but I think so. Purely because I said I do not consider gender and sex mutually exclusive things. So that's basically it. That's that, and I even sort of prefaced it by saying, "Look, I want people to live happy lives. I am I'm the epitome of liberal in that sense. I just want people to get along, and I want people to leave me alone. That's where I am, and that's not good enough. It's not good enough. It's not good enough for you to just wish people well. You have to be part of the crew.
You have to be willing to play make believe with them. You can't just tolerate, like, you can play make believe in your yard all you want, as long as you're not hurting anyone. And if you are hurting someone, as long as it's consensual, I don't care, man. I just don't care.
Yeah.
But no, you have to participate in my fantasy. No, I don't. Well, you're a Nazi. I feel like we're using that word a lot. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. But again, to the infrastructure and the things that are going, yes, they're bizarre. It seems more of a probing thing. Once is an accident, twice is coincidence, 3 is planning. Right. And interestingly enough, derailing trains, things like that's pretty easy sauce. Messing with the infrastructure of the power grid, and I think some of these are to bait other crazy people into doing it.
I've always thought that. I've thought I've always thought this was shootings and stuff like that too. There seems to be an effort to try and make it more of a thing, because it's one thing I always found crazy about the US with coming from a country with no guns, is I'm amazed there isn't more shootings. Like, like people just going fucking crazy.
So that's kind of the point to the argument. As a firearms owner myself, I recently bought some firearms,
A tank.
and it's on the list. So I bought some firearms, and there was a 7-day period in between the background checks. Like, I had a couple things come in. I was like, well, I'll go pick those up, and then I found out the other things I had ordered aren't going to come in for like a week. I was like, okay. So I got my background check, and my number was, for my state at that time, I think it was 75,666. That means to that point this year,
individual owners.
Well, individual background checks. You can have more than one firearm on each background check. You have 5.
Right.
So I got the 2, and then I came back a week later when the other ones came in, and we did the background check, and it was 89,700 and something.
Wow.
In 7 days. And that's just my state. There are an unbelievable amount of firearms. Everybody I know that I live around, everybody is armed and or carries. And shootings here are the shootings you see in the U.S. you see in usually gun-free cities and gun-free zones. And the more restricted it is, criminal element doesn't care about the law, so they're armed to the teeth. And a law-abiding citizen who's going to obey the laws, well, you're just a sheep, you're prey. Like, it's you don't live there, be somewhere else. Don't go to those places. Like, if places don't allow you to carry, I don't go to those places. This is what it is. But yeah, like, as many as we have, I think it's over 400 million firearms in the United States.
Yeah. That's why I always find that, because the gun issue for the US, I've always had even when I was more left wing, and it was just a case of, people like, America just needs to get rid of the guns, and I've always been one of the people who was like, how?
Oh yeah, you can't. It's beyond that. It's beyond that. It's culturally who we are. You're not fixing this at this point.
It's literally like saying, let's get rid of gas stoves.
Which they want to do. Yeah. It's insane. It's insane. It's like, one particular state in the union saying that, we don't want gas-powered vehicles in 5 years.
Yeah.
How are you going to do that?
Yeah.
Like,
do you have the blessing of the Just Stop Oil crew in the US, or is that a British thing?
Man, I have no idea. I don't mix on that side of the fence.
They've gone through various shifts. They were Extinction Rebellion. I mean, to be perfectly honest, they were probably Greenpeace at the time, years ago. But I was too young to. I knew what Greenpeace was, but I was too young to really know what they were doing. I don't think it was quite to the same level as what goes on now. But you had like XR, like Extinction Rebellion. And then there was like a rebranding because that fell out of fashion, and then they became Insulate Britain, and then there was a fallout with that brand as well. So now they're referred to as Just Stop Oil, and it seems to be the same. I don't want to say terrorist organization, but I'm pretty sure if I was on one of these motorways that people keep fucking gluing their faces to, and I was in the back of an ambulance that couldn't get to a hospital, I'm pretty sure I think they were a terrorist at that point.
Yeah. There was a thing that had happened in a city near here when people were protesting. They were blocking roads and trying to get their point across. and there was it's kind of a famous video around here. One of the doctors from the hospital is like, "Hey, I need you guys to move. They just called me in for surgery. It's an emergency surgery. I'm a surgeon." And they're like, "Well, their life isn't worth more than our life." So it's like,
You
you fucking serious right now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You are
unbelievable.
You are in this. You're directly helping the death of another human being.
They should be charged with it. Yeah, they are inhibiting the person who's there to save that person. And I have no idea.
You would be in normal circumstances. If you
Normal left the building a long time ago.
Yeah, it's true. But if you like, let's say you blocked an ambulance in or something like that and refused to move just because you were being a prick, I imagine there'd be some sort of proceedings brought against you there. But because you're doing like some protest against whatever the hot topic is, it's fine. I find it really depressing. Like I think now, I thought I'd been through this period, but I think I might be black-pilled now. I think that's where I am.
What does that mean?
Black-pilled seems to be the modern the modern cool equivalent of being a fucking nihilist. Apparently the white pilled is the place to be. That's the step after it.
I think what's going to be interesting is for my country, right? Just for America. What I think is going to be interesting is there's a lot of people who have the means to work from anywhere in the world, like take different jobs, and they don't have to deal with this bullshit. I'm curious what they're going to do in the next few years. I really think things are going to ramp up. I mean, exponentially. I mean, obviously they are. And back, when I had the other podcast before we got banned on all platforms in
let's not forget, before the last election, you had the BLM riots.
Oh yeah,
so it's there is form here. There is form for chaos.
Those weren't riots. Those were mostly peaceful protests.
I always get those things mixed up. I always get
easy.
those terms
kind of the same
up.
thing.
Yeah. That's the greatest thing though. It's some point like in the future when we've either destroyed ourselves or we've found some level of sanity, and people look back on this period in history and go, like, what happened? Like, was something put in the water? Was it something that was sprayed in the air? Was it a planetary alignment that was doing that to these
people? Which is happening, by the way.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. That was so weird. Like I've never seen like such a clear alignment as that in the sky from where
beautiful.
I am. It was so crazy. But they're going to look back at that picture of the guy in the news talking about the mostly peaceful protest with the burning police station behind him. And they're going to be looking at this so unbelievably confused as to how people just went, oh yeah, it's mostly peaceful. Look at the flames, mostly peaceful flames.
I don't know, man. I feel like everyone's IQ's dropped at least like one standard deviation.
It seems to be.
Like it's unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, I just don't know anymore. When I see it play out like these different things tactically, my brain says this is coordinated. This is an event. This has a goal. This has a purpose. Instead of like people are focusing on the details of the train derailment, like the specific train, instead of
it's the result. What does it cause?
It's more than that. Like, what is the benefit? Why? What is this like? And I get that that's a broad term, but specifically, what is this achievement? What does this achieve? So if we're going to look at it tactically, what does that achieve? Well, several things. And the more of them that are happening, it puts they're implanting the idea in the public's mind that the infrastructure isn't safe to go. Okay. They're doing it with the grid as well. Okay. And food production. All right. What are they getting you ready for? You got to coax the public along to get them through these things. It's unnerving. It's unnerving. I would lie if I say that, I haven't looked for homes in other countries.
I don't know where you go. I've thought this.
I do.
Is it where I am?
No.
Damn it.
Absolutely not.
No.
But yeah.
I'm slightly happier I'm on the little island rather than the big island. I think the big island's in real trouble. But
Yeah.
yeah, I that's the thing. I think I don't believe there's going to be for whatever the outcome of this is. I don't think there's going to be a safe haven somewhere. It's just like
No.
I don't think you're going to have normal island. You know what I mean? Just like you walk on and there's an arcade and a Blockbuster there. You go, oh my god, it's just like 1998. This is brilliant. I don't believe that's going to be there. I think the only way to I think the only way to be safe is to not be, unfortunately, not be in our class, not being the useless eater class.
Well, I mean, I think that you're gonna have 3 locations you can be at. You can either be in occupied territory, you can be on the front line, or caught in it, however you view it.
Mm-hmm.
Or in a state of unease. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. Like, okay, so you don't live in a major city that's going through chaos. You're not on the front line. You're not in an occupied. You're in a mostly free area. Laws haven't changed. You're still good. Supplies are still somewhat like going through. Like, we obviously, people know that things can bog down with the logistics system, but for the most part, you'll get things through.
Yeah.
Just maybe not what you want, but you're going to get things through. Okay. You're in a constant state of unease. You're watching the news. You're like, is the ball going to drop here? You're watching everything.
Well, we've just spent 2 years in a constant state of unease as well.
Yeah,
and it's
people are afraid, man, and it didn't bode well for people's psyches. I don't know that they could take another one. There were underreported things of, obviously grocery stores running out and people buying all the toilet paper and stuff, but also people getting robbed in parking lots from grocery carts. Like, they're getting jacked. Like, they bought the groceries and they're putting them in their cart and they're that's it. I'm going to rob you for your groceries. What?
I think I think that's one of the things we've certainly in the US, because you had the real spike in homeless, didn't you, after lockdowns?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think that was just down to people losing jobs and losing money and homes. I think there's it's kind of like a rubbish version of the hippie, like Californian hippie movement. You had these people that were just traveling down to live with these like traveler places that just wanted to check out of society. Like they'd hadn't had enough. The threat of war was always there. They just wanted to check out and be somewhere different that was sort of out of the system. I think that's a more difficult thing to do now. So, but if you're doing that and trying to go to one of these, well, I mean, you could argue it's what they tried to do with Chad. With when they took those city blocks over, a terrible idea which ended as badly as everybody thought it was going to. But I understand the mentality behind it.
Yeah, I mean, people want
same as Burning Man. The Burning Man project. I understand. I'm pretty sure that's probably not a great place to go and spend an awful lot of time. But I understand the idea behind it, and that's basically when the apocalypse comes. That's the beginning of the wasteland.
That's what they would like to think. That's what they would like to think. Yeah, man. It's weird times. It's weird times we live in. It's uneasy. I was down at a very interesting place last weekend. That's why I wasn't on. And talked to some guys there. And my mind was just kind of getting blown away. It's just blown away.
What by?
Things.
Things I can't say.
And I just kind of went home in awe, like, what the hell, man? And they're friends and everything, and it was good to catch up with them, but at the same time, it was a little uneasy.
How
So I
so?
feel like, well, I think we're slowly getting to different sides of the fence.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and
It's not good when that happens. Like
uh,
I've felt that with people before, and
yeah,
you go, oh.
yeah,
And I think it's always the case, or at least it is with me. And I'll be dead honest here. I think it's going to be. I don't consider myself like on the right because I think
mhm,
all government's corrupt. That's where I am now. I think they all drink in the same bars, and I
mhm,
think it's all planned, and people are selected and not elected.
mhm.
But the people that I would fall out with would probably think I landed more on the right than the left. But unfortunately, I don't. I just don't believe in their score chart.
Yeah,
But it's always that way.
yeah,
It always seems to be people that are very on the left of that score chart that can't take other people and other people's views, which is crazy because all they do is preach tolerance.
yeah. I had a conversation with a family member not long ago, and it was about that's why I referenced cutting the little boy's balls off, and now I'm a Nazi if I don't want to do that.
Mm.
And we were going back and forth about it, and they're like, "Well, you're just ultra conservative on the right." I was like, "Wait a minute, you've known me your whole life."
But
It's
when
like,
does
I'm
this
not that.
become? Yeah, how this is the thing though. Like when has that become an ultra conservative standpoint?
Yeah, because
I
I'm
could.
anti-mutilation.
Yeah,
What?
I could understand it if someone like a ultra conservative standpoint is saying I don't believe in gay marriage, or I don't
Yeah.
think I don't agree with same sex relationships.
Mhm.
That's ultra conservative, like and
Yeah. Or
this is beyond that,
yeah,
and that's
or
pretty grim, but this is grimmer.
yeah, I'm not saying the church should control the schools in the state. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
not at all what I'm advocating here. I'm far more, no, just you stay in your yard, I'll stay in my yard, we'll all be fine. We don't need a government.
yeah.
You know? Uh, and it was just kinda mind blowing because I mean, this person was foaming at the mouth,
Mm.
like, and it was just, wow.
Well, this is one of the things. I can't remember. I can't remember what church it was. I'm uh, I'm just gonna say it's the oh fuck, what was it? It was a Christian group, and it was like one of the like a fundamentalist Christian group. I can't remember who it was, but this person I don't know some of the viewers, because I mean, like this crazy, considering it's a story in the Isle of Man. Again, YouTube algorithms. I'm not going to go too much into it, but we had something that has or has not maybe happened in one of our schools with sex education, and the there's an official like this is like the main line story of this is there is now an official investigation into our sex education policies for like around 11 to 13-year-olds. The I personally, as a parent, there was definitely stuff on that curriculum I didn't agree with. The a friend of mine, that I would say friend, we know each other, we talk to each other on Twitter. It's one of those
Mhm.
friends is
Mhm.
a psychologist, and early doors he emailed me about these changes to our to the curriculum of sex education. And he said this is going to go off at some point. He said just like watch out for it. And the so apparently there was a what I'm trying to think of a good way to word this, which is more user friendly, or at least just the news article side of it. So the official news reported articles were that there was a sex education in the Isle of Man that involved teaching kids how to fist each other and about anal sex. The that was part of it. There was then this was put forward by a woman who was involved and but she came from fundamentalist Christian group, so that's been used to discredit it. And then part of the story was the part that was on like Fox News and stuff like that really sort of the rubber hit the road with it. That a gender neutral person, because they're being called a drag queen, and I don't know, because I don't know who the person was, but I've been told it wasn't a drag queen. It was somebody that was gender neutral that went into a school to explain like gender ideology and how there was like 73 genders and stuff like that. I'm personally like I've not really. I think that like the bits of the story that I think are right, like are true in the like the curriculum side of it, I think are worrying enough not to worry about this bit until it's until like the official report comes out and there's some genuine facts. Right now there's no genuine facts. There's just I do know the guy I work with knows the lady whose son was there. The son, I'd have been mega proud of the guy if it was my kid. Essentially fought back against the gender ideology thing. Said no, there's like two genders. There's boys and girls. This is ridiculous. The teacher informed the child that she was, they were upset, because I really don't know which gender it was. I'm not just saying that because they were gender neutral. I have no idea who this person was. That they were upset by the child coming back at them, and removed the child from the class.
Of course.
Yeah,
of course.
So regardless of all this stuff, I am. Can you imagine? Right, it doesn't matter whether you're talking about gender. Can you? It doesn't matter whether you're going into a school to teach someone about painting and decorating or fucking algebra. If you consider yourself an expert in something, an expert to the point that you're willing to go into a school and teach what you know is truth to children, and you're that adamant that you fucking grasp this and this is your shit, but you can't defend your own argument to an 11-year-old child. That's fucking wild.
Yeah, that's what it is, man, dude. In my country, and maybe over there as well. I don't know. Like I try not to follow it too much because it makes my blood boil, and it's pointless. They want you to feel that way. They want people to be like, oh, it's so brave, so amazing, and then they want the other people to be enraged by it. They're playing for that. It's a 2-for-1 that they're getting out of it. So I'm just not going to play. Like I don't participate. My kids don't go to public school. But it's like here's a question that's rarely asked. So the drag queens or whatever that they have doing these like exotic dance shows for a shitload of single moms and their kids or whatever. Nothing against single mothers, but it just seems to be there's no dads bringing their kids to these things. It's always these moms, and that kind of fit that profile. Maybe I'm assuming. I don't know.
It's always interesting to zoom into the faces of those people.
Yeah, they're insane.
No, they're either insane or they have frozen smiles on their faces where they go, I don't like this, and I shouldn't have done this. But I'm here.
The ones I see they're just like, yeah, give them $1. Oh. And just like the thing. So like all that is ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. But the thing that really has to come into question is what adult, I don't care what you want to make believe you are or not, thinks it's a good idea to wear a thong and slap your bits around off your belly and your thighs in front of very small children and have them stuff money in it.
I think that's
like, who's about that.
I agree.
Like they're like, oh yeah, I want to perform at that show.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was. No, sorry, I can't say what I was going to say then. It's not even because it's not a YouTube thing or something like that. It is just too close to home. the thing is, I wouldn't. That's not a gender ideology thing at that point, because I don't want strippers teaching my kids. I don't want my kids go to strip shows. Do you
You're
know what I mean?
grooming children. You're
Yeah,
grooming
it's
children
like
that this is
I
okay.
don't care what sex you are at that point.
Yeah.
I don't.
No.
It's
It's grooming.
yeah.
And the person there is excited to be there. They're
Mhm.
excited to participate in this. Like, what the hell, man?
Yeah.
And that's okay. That's fine. If you don't agree with it, you're a Nazi.
Mm.
So I bought a Doberman, you know.
Yeah, it just seems to be getting worse. I was thinking to myself the other day, like I don't know. I know where I think it's going to end, and I'm definitely not saying that on YouTube where I think it's going to end, and I genuinely think that's a purpose. I've been saying it to a couple of friends of mine now for probably about 6-7 years, and and in the maybe 5, maybe, I don't know, but it was in the time frame. I said to them the other day, like I said, I've still got 2 years left on my time frame. I think, Dave, you probably get what I'm talking about.
Yep.
And I'm still feeling pretty good for it. Like within 2 years, the as soon as the gender gender wars have lost their kudos when it comes to social credit, you will need to have another repugnant thing to stand for. And
you got to keep the hate going, man.
Yeah. Well, see, this is the thing. I don't even. I think that's what I think. This is manufactured.
100%. Yeah,
we are using it, and it doesn't just. This is like, it sounds like bagging just on the gender thing now, but I don't think it's that. I think we've used. I think feminism was co-opted. Like for all the great things feminism's done, feminism was co-opted to cause like friction between the sexes. We use racism to cause friction between the races. Yeah, we're getting separated more and more and more and more, and then you get something like this, which then just it separates people that are already separated on other things. And then the shit thing is that you get like, I've got gay friends over here. And just now they did, like, when we did the first like Pride thing on the Isle of Man, they did a phone box. For some reason, we like painting phone boxes when things happen. Don't ask questions. Like, somebody got a gold medal once over here. We painted the phone box gold.
You don't have cell phones?
Oh, sorry, not phone box, post box. Sorry.
Oh.
Yeah. Mind you, given the way you think about us having kings and queens, I'm surprised you don't think we use owls to get things around.
I figured you did. I did. That's why I immediately didn't go that it was a post box. I was like, I thought your wizard was in charge of that, right? You have a wizard in charge of mail. That's how the owls get around. Or what is it? A gamekeeper? Some shit like that? Like, you got gamekeepers out there, right? That's a thing. Yeah.
I can't wait till my son's old enough to go Hogwarts.
Do they like ride unicorns and shit? Like,
no,
that's awesome. That's the most dangerous fairy tale creature.
No, they're fucking protected. You don't ride unicorns.
It's like a sex thing.
You ride hippogriffs.
Seems but racist. Whatever. Is it because the unicorn's white? God, does your king know how racist you people are? God. Do you not have like an unracist wizard?
Genuinely,
is there a diversity
fairy
wizard?
Tales are racist.
Oh, they're racist as shit.
There's no such thing as black unicorns. I never even thought about that.
No such thing as a black unicorn.
I simply won't stand for that. God, where was I? I was going to say something.
Talking about your wizard in the mail system.
It was going to be the post box, post box. So they did for the first like Pride thing on the Isle of Man. They painted a post box in the rainbow colors. That's fine, good idea. Looked nice. So just the other day, like, someone scrawled over the phone box, like, don't stop supporting evil or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And this was my argument with, like, the person which I consider, like, particularly left, who was having to go at me. I said, what you doing here? You're doing exactly the same thing on a small, like, person to person thing level as what happens when you like where I was trying to explain it in words you'd understand. It's like the when I say America go and deliver freedom to a load of countries that don't necessarily want the freedom.
We love doing that.
They do. And
yeah, we shove that freedom right down their throats.
So
man.
you've got what
Choke on it.
a like a maybe resource rich country that's look,
I can feel the freedom brewing.
Once freed resembles a car park, and
freedom takes a lot of forms.
Yeah, freedom's gonna need car park spaces for all those cars.
Yeah.
But they said, well, like, you deliver all this freedom, and then all of a sudden, in 20 or 30 years' time, after all that freedom is decimated families, you're confused why you've got extremists and terrorists. You know?
No, they just couldn't handle the freedom.
But
we have domestic terrorists here. Haven't you seen our news? Too much freedom.
True. But that's like that's what I was saying to her. This attitude of like the us versus them, it breeds hate, and that's you end up with shit like this. And I think that'd be really awful. Like, I'm straight. It's not. I think it's grim for the the
one time in college didn't count.
It's always a Wednesday, but I can't think of how I'd feel that if because of a few actions of extremists in the LGBT space, I'm just like a gay guy that's living with a boyfriend looking at this going, is this like fucking directed at us now as well? That's the shit thing. That's the shit thing. But we were past all this. And we kind of got to a point in the mid 2000s where we were like, just fuck what you want. As long as it's old enough, just fuck what you want when you want, and we all get on. We can all go for a drink together afterwards, like wash if you need to, and it's fine. And now we seem to be going back to this fucking almost puritanical like level of anxiety over things.
I don't know, man. I like to troll people, and I kind of have fun with the gender thing with some people. And
I think that's hilarious, to be fair.
Yeah, that's great. Are you familiar with a phalloplasty?
I should be. That rings a bell, but I don't know why.
Viewers at home, Google a phalloplasty. So what it is where they take part of a woman's forearm and or thigh and create male genitalia.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is if you're not willing to suck on that and or take it up the keister, you hate women and men and trans.
Yeah, everybody.
You hate everybody. You're a Nazi. And so this person that I was talking to, they brought that up that, I wouldn't do that because they're like, and there's some meme on Twitter I saw. It's like, 98% of straight men refuse to suck female genitalia, but by that mean penis, like a female, like, so it's a man. It's a man wearing a dress. Like if you're not going to blow a man wearing a dress, you're homophobic. I don't think that's how that works. I don't think that's how that works at all. And that was their argument. And so I started pulling up pictures of phalloplasty and I put it in her face. And I was like, well, if you're not willing to blow that. Oh, by the way, it smells bad. It oozes pus. It doesn't work. And they can't feel anything.
Oh, so it's just like a real penis.
I'll send you some pictures. It'll haunt your dreams.
You see, I think do you think there's just a distraction for every flavor now? Like for everybody. Because I think that one of the first big ones I think that's been thrown into like the conspiracy area to try and drag this back to somewhere where it probably won't get as cancelled.
We're doomed now, man. We've crossed that Rubicon.
the flat Earth, I think, was like one of the first things that had so much behind it. Like before the algorithm started deleting that was pushed really hard, like really hard. It was all over the place.
Yeah.
I feel the same way now about the Tartaria thing. Like that's I find that fascinating. I find all the mud flood thing fascinating. I find the old pictures of cities and stuff like really interesting, especially the ones with like electricity and stuff. I have had the not the building of the what you call them, World's Fairs. I haven't had the building of the World's Fairs quite explained to me, but the pictures of these like vast buildings, with like really bright electric lights on and stuff like that.
Yes.
I had that explained to me by the cameras of when you don't just take a picture, it has to be a really long exposure, so it blows all the light up and makes small lights seem like massive spotlights illuminating like massive areas. That makes more sense now. If it's not something that's lit up like the fucking Emerald City, it's just the length of exposure of the photograph.
Could be.
But I feel like that's being given so much airtime. What have you, Dave sent me?
Yeah,
Oh my Jesus Christ!
Yeah, you live with that in your mind now. I'm not sorry. Let that haunt you. They're making them big too.
They are making them big.
Yeah, it's like that's false advertising.
Oh fucking hell! Ruined an absolutely perfectly good tattoo as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god!
That thing, and they're gonna it for the viewers at home, Google away. But enjoy your weekend fun. Yeah, man, and not only that, like the forearms and the legs, that's permanently mutilated. That's not going to be fixed.
No. Look, I mean, look at it.
Yeah, that's done now. But whatever. Hey, that's the thing is an adult can do whatever they want. You don't do that to a kid. You have no business doing that to a kid. If you're an adult and this is what you choose, I mean, I'm not going to support you. I'm not going to stop you either. Like you're an adult, you can make your own choices. Anyway.
So what's the distraction for? What are they keeping us
Excellent
busy?
Question.
Right? So much, because that's the main problem. Like there's so much busy work. I think the aliens are a distraction.
No, aliens, man, keeping us distracted from the aliens. I think that alien distraction is a half truth.
Do you think they're on the way back? Do you think it's that?
I don't think that they're aliens. I don't like their whole thing is that they're coming here. What if they're already here? This is what they're from. What if they're not aliens at all? What if they're one frequency out of sync, or they live at the bottom of the ocean, or they move at an entirely different pace of time? You know what I mean? So
absolutely, Mr. Squatch.
Yeah, he is.
He's pretty
right
good at
or
operating
left.
that phone with one hand. Oh, that was left-handed as well.
Yeah,
practice. Yeah, I like to use my phone with left hand. It's like someone else is doing it.
Nice.
But yeah, that's what because I've kind of got this half doomsday scenario in my head now, thinking that if there was going to be some sort of like we'll say reset's being thrown around a lot. If something was coming, like we go through natural earth cycles, and the most powerful, most prominent, most able to survive just through sheer resources people, if they were going to get together and say, look, like this is fucking happening, we need to go and build an ark. We're the modern Noah. You'd need an awful lot of money, and you'd essentially need to be able to ship things as well if you were building stuff, but in a really weird way, because you wouldn't want any of this getting back to anybody. You would be talking about building a city covertly, in the same way as like you build like fucking prototype aircraft and stuff like that. I'm sure parts of prototype aircraft are ordered in a really strange way because you don't want somebody being able to make a map of what you're building. Oh, well, look at that. They seem to have built enough stuff to make a stealth aircraft. How weird.
Well, usually they're made in house.
Yeah. They I suppose it's just resources.
I was maybe I was or wasn't at a Lockheed Martin facility last week.
Yeah. Well, no, yeah, we know you were there because you said it was okay to say it.
Yeah,
but
I didn't say it.
Yeah, the yeah, I just wonder whether the distractions are because there's something fucking pretty grim on the way, like inescapably grim, to the point where you shouldn't even worry about it because it's game over anyway.
Maybe, or maybe, you know, I mean, who knows? Like if that's the thing, there's nothing you can do. There's nowhere to hide. There's nothing.
However, there's absolutely no point in like social credit systems and passports
or digital IDs and matters of control, unless you get all that infrastructure going, because you know you're not going to keep the whole population, and that which is left, you're going to be able to totally control. You're going to be able to lock it down for efficiency.
Yeah,
efficiency. You know, we'll see, man. We'll see. Whatever it is, it rolls on. It is what it is. The sun rises. It continues on. I live by a pretty simple thing that we used to say on the old podcast is, you know, prepare reasonably, put some food away, you know, get in better health, you know, simple things. If you live in a place where you can defend yourself, start practicing or get items to do it. If you live in a place that you can't do that, fucking move. Yeah, give yourself all the best odds. Be foolish not to, right? Yeah. It's like you can stay in this valley and the Indians are going to come through and kill your family and scalp you. Or hear me out, you move 400 yards over there, no problems. Fuck that, I'm going to stay right here.
This is your own fault, Jeff.
All right, man. All right. Like, okay. I don't want to hear you bitching when they go, like, we all told you. You know, and then they come through raiding and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe that everybody knew. That's why we moved over here. You know,
it's strange, isn't it? Like you grow up hearing about I don't want to say dark ages, but in a very lefty way, I'll say in an age before capitalism, for instance, where we're told that there was no technology
when kings were kings, man.
Yeah, when kings were kings and elephants were woolly.
Yeah. And wizards ruled the post office.
But and we're constantly told how much better off we are and how much happier we are and how horrible it would have lived back then. The idea of being able to sustain yourself and have the knowledge to sustain yourself, to just go out, find a plot of land and go, this is by a stream. I like this. I'm going to be able to go and hunt deer and I'm going to be able to get water. I'll build a house here and I'll live here. That sounds fucking awesome.
Well, if your king will let you.
Hard, but awesome.
Yeah. If your king will let you.
I was thinking more of you guys, to be perfectly honest, than me.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, even then it didn't take them long. Yeah, bring in the government and taxes. Always with the government. Yeah, man, it just is what it is. And honestly, like back in that time, appendicitis, you're dead. You know, bad sinus infection. That's a horrible way to go. How did he die? Streptococcus. You mean strep throat? Yeah. What the hell? You know, the black shits. Dysentery? And have Imodium? Like, you know, you shit yourself? Oh my God. This is horrible, man.
I've definitely nearly shit myself to death a couple of times.
Yeah, me too, actually. Horrible way. I was like, I was on there and I was like, I might die like this. This is me and Elvis going out the same way. Who'd have thunk it?
So I love this. I love this response to a tech problem. Moody Mongol. Man, I'm getting loads of lag in this show. It's freezing all the time. Chacked up. I'm going to have to perform the people's elbow on the router. I love the idea that might be in the manual for something.
Ah! I was going to teach that router.
Yeah, so J.M. Clark pointed out, all we have in the UK to defend ourselves is brooms.
Yeah, but you can fly. Like you get airborne, man. You know? I mean, do you have to pass like a special class before you can fly them, or can just like anyone do it?
No, it's just anyone. Like it's because it's
nice.
it's quite the knack to fly a broom. It's you can't. It's not like a car. You can't just go and get one, hop on it, and off you fly. You've got to go to school to learn, but you don't have to have a license to do it.
Oh, so like insurance?
No. You're in the sky. You're not. It's like
you're
those situations.
Yeah.
You know they're like those tiny little cars that you can drive without a driver's license because they're not quite a car and they're not quite a bike.
No.
Do you know have those in the US?
Mm.
God, I thought you were free.
No, that's a lie, man. That's a long lie.
Yeah, there are there's like these little tiny cars that you can ride on, like provisional bike licenses.
Oh, we have mopeds. You can do it with mopeds.
No, these are cars.
Yeah,
but you can drive them on provisional bike licenses.
If it goes on the road, and it's legal to be on the road, you need to you have a license. No, man, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, you guys got your wizards and your brooms and stuff. That's something. We got guns. Whatever.
It is, to be perfectly honest, like the king and queen thing. I'd never really thought about it because I've always grown up, obviously, with a queen.
You believe in one. You believe in kings and queens.
No, but it was the moment we like I heard someone say like God save the king, and it's just dawned on me going, this is wild. Like,
yeah, it blows my mind.
Yeah, and it's only because I'd heard like God save the queen forever.
Yeah, that's all you know.
But as soon as one word was changed, and it was like someone slapped me around the face, like going, "Yeah, this is really strange. Like,
what are we doing?"
You know, it's like you live in like one of the most developed countries in the world, and you've just got a new king installed.
I mean,
have a word.
Let's be honest. You guys took a major hit losing that queen. I mean, your movements on the board are extremely limited now.
I know.
One space at a time.
Kings are useless. Yeah,
you lose man.
Your queen, you're gone.
You're in trouble. You're in trouble. You guys got to do something about that, man. And hopefully the wizard can whip something up.
We're just happy that we've got both our knights and one bishop left
and a spare.
It's still the best meme, British meme I've ever seen. Have you seen the meme with the Queen stood on the obviously checkered floor, because checkered floors seem to be everywhere these people are.
Symbolism there.
And there was a picture of the Queen and the bishop there stood, and the bishop was on a black tile and the Queen was on a white one, and the meme
Checkmate.
was, of course, the bishop needs to watch because the Queen can move in any direction.
It's true. It's true. You got to watch out. Yeah, it's like, so a friend of a very good, actually he's my attorney. He has dual citizenship with the UK and America. He was born in the UK, raised in America. And I love to give him shit. You know, I give him unbelievable amounts of shit, especially when everything was going on with the Queen. And when I'd first found out that he had dual citizenship, so you're a subject of the crown. He's like, yeah, I mean, I got a passport, so yeah, I guess technically I am. And I was like, so you believe in queens? He's like, I mean, she's there. It's not a belief. It's like, no. It's a belief. It's a belief that she is in fact a queen. It's like, wow, oh shit. I was like, yeah. It's okay. I believe a senile pedophile can be president, apparently. So I'm in a glass house. I'm not throwing any stones.
His story the other day about his nurse was
Holy shit.
That was top draw. Like,
dude, he's out of his fucking
draw
mind.
Biden.
He's out of his mind. He's out of his mind.
See, it's not even enjoyable. Like the
oh, it's sad.
I used to love watching Trump throw sass out to people in interviews and stuff. Like
he was good at it.
Yeah, and I really miss that. Do you know what the thing is? It's gonna be so interesting when it comes around for elections for you guys, because
the Civil War.
Yeah, but apart from that, I hope you can still. I hope you still got time on Sundays.
We'll see. We'll see if I can fit it into the schedule of.
Can you just make Sundays the civil part of the war?
We'll see what we can do. I'm in the South, probably. Probably make that happen. All right, as we start the Civil Wars, 3 things we're not touching. What's that? Biscuits, fried chicken, and Sundays. Can we add gravy in? Deal. I can see that shit happening, man. I've seen people that hate each other sit down at a dinner table because it was good biscuits and gravy.
But
for now.
The funny thing is, the thing that's lost out most from Trump not being in power is media. CNN has never been less relevant than it is right now, because they've got no pantomime villain.
They're just giving out the fucking talking points and talking about how competent and amazing and brave whatever new person that gets hired and put into whatever position is.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Meanwhile, you've got Biden over there speaking in fucking tongues.
It's out of it, man. He's and I'm like, that guy has the nuclear codes. Awesome. Fucking awesome. Why would anyone take it seriously? We don't deserve it. We don't deserve it.
He doesn't even have his own house key.
No, dude. He's not. Dude, he's not even wearing. He's wearing diapers, bro. He shits his pants.
It's sad. It's sad, to be perfectly honest. You know, this because I mean, I don't think. I don't even think Biden is a nasty person anymore. I think he's probably done nasty things that we don't agree with.
He married his underage nanny.
Yeah, but the thing with him is, I almost don't believe he's capable of evil anymore. He's that barbecued.
Oh no, I think he's capable of even worse.
Do you think? Do you think maybe the inhibitions have dropped now?
I don't think the inhibitions have dropped. I just think that he has no limits now.
Mm.
You know, he has no limits.
I suppose he's on his way out as well. Do you think? I'm surprised he's going to see out his presidency. To be perfectly honest, I thought he was getting shipped right out of there as soon as he won it.
They hate her more than they hate him. Her ridiculous laughs and nonsensical fucking shit she throws together. It's like,
yeah.
I mean, she may give the best head in the world. Obviously, she does. She's the vice president, and that's how she got there. So it's got to be phenomenal. Okay, I'm not knocking that. She's got talent. She used it, and she became the fucking vice president. That's busting glass ceilings using what God gave you. Good for you. It's the general lunacy that comes out of her mouth and the cackling laugh that makes no sense, and her inability to read a card right in front of her. That was a hell of a pairing they picked, those two. I mean, yeah, my country's doomed. Wish we had a wizard.
What do you think? What do you think of DeSantis? More to the point, actually. Sorry, before we not talk about him. Do you think it's Robert Kennedy Jr., isn't it? Is that the right one?
I don't
know. He's the guy that did like the book about Fauci.
I think so. Yeah.
Well, he's like positioned himself saying that he might run for Democrats. Does the world lose yet another Kennedy trying to run for office?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
There's not like it's not a great hit record.
Dude, the guy who came up
hit record.
what is the guy who came up with the mRNA vaccine is found strangled in his apartment?
What? When?
The other day. It's all over Twitter now, man.
Robert Malone?
No, one of the
No.
other guys. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. It's just
He was just one of them. No, he's too high profile. They got the other guy though.
I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's if you're gonna put yourself in one of these positions, you just need to be out. You know, like you can't and say everything you possibly got on every single platform as soon as you can, because then there's no point in silencing you at that point because you're out.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. It's unnerving. It is a little scary. The times are scary. But at the same time, you can look at the benefits, like, start a garden, get some chickens, get in good shape, start jogging, lifting a weight, change your diet, learn to defend yourself, pick up a jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai class. And if you can own firearms, go learn them. If you have friends who have peculiarly interesting knowledge that winds them up on federal watch lists, go hang out with that guy for a while. Whoever the government's keeping an eye on should be your friend. Like if they're nervous, it just means he's quality people. It means he's a good people. Can you fly domestically? No, I cannot. We should be friends.
Domestic flights, I think, are crazy.
I do.
Flying. I'm so small. Flying. I hate flying as well. I hate flying more. I hate flying even more now than I used to.
I hate flying because of the enhanced security checks that somehow I am always randomly flagged for. Sorry, we pulled your luggage back off the plane. Awesome. Would you get out of your seat and come with us? Is the plane going to wait on me? Probably not. Am I going to be able to get another flight? Absolutely. Not tomorrow. We'll see. They sit in this small room for 4 hours.
I've never had to do anything like that. Thanks.
No, I've had to do all of that. Absolutely. I refused to get off a flight one time when I was traveling to Europe. They were trying to pull me out. I was like, I'm not getting off this plane. Like, that's not a thing that's going to happen. Because this plane isn't going to wait. I have someone waiting. Like, I have a schedule. I have someone waiting for me. If I am not there, right? If I'm not there, everything goes to shit. I have to be there at this time. And they radioed back and forth, and they just walked away. They kept all my luggage, though. Yeah, that was great. That was great. My wife used to think it was hilarious until now it holds us up for everything.
Every time you go away.
Every time I fly, man.
I'd just be driving. Like the idea that you can holiday within a massive country like America by taking like a big motorhome. That sounds good fun.
Oh yeah, I have one. That's why we bought ours. Yeah. It's because I'm driving now. Like, I'm not flying anymore, man. Not unless I absolutely have to. Nope. Especially with the health of the pilots.
Well, that's what I was saying. It's one of the one of the worries I've got with flying, even more so. They is if
no, they got a lot of pilots on the international flights. So I mean, odds of all of them having a heart attack, very low. Somebody's going to be able to land the bitch. I mean, they're all going to help get it up, but only one of them is going to be there to get it down.
And even then, there must be somebody on every flight now that plays Flight Simulator. That's massive.
I wouldn't trust those skills. I did go flying, dude. I went flying not too long ago. My friend that's the fighter pilot. Yeah, he has a plane. He has his own airport on his property. He actually got it registered.
Yeah, it looks a little bit like the runway. It looks a little bit like the runway that you're
in Colombia,
Indiana. No, well, yes. I was going to go that Indiana Jones took off from in the Raiders of the Lost Ark. No, Raiders of the Lost Ark, or the last. No, Holy Grail one, wasn't it?
I don't know. I know what you're talking about.
The one with Sean Connery.
Yeah, Holy Grail. No, it was amazing. I've never, and he's a former fighter pilot, and so he fucking knew what he was doing. It was amazing, man. It was a lot of fun. He's like, "You want to fly?" And I was like, "No kidding." He's like, "Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna let us die." But I was like, "Okay." I turned left, turned right, turned it back around, aimed it towards the strip. I was like, "Yeah, okay," and I'm done now. Let's do it. Let's do another barrel roll. Give him to you. He's insane with that thing. What he can do. He was actually a Harrier pilot.
Was he?
Yes. He's a very good pilot, and it was fun. And he's
I've
a
seen
big
Ha-
dude
I've seen
too.
a
Like
Harrier.
we're both large fellows, and we were joking. He was like, we're like 100 pounds overweight for this plane. He's like, I've never had to use that much of the runways. Like, thank God there's a cliff at the end.
Oh.
Which there's 100% fact we ran the tires right off the edge. He's also a little crazy, but whatever.
I hate that feel. Like, I hate relaxing on a plane.
Oh, there was no relaxing in that plane.
No, because now and again, what happens is, especially if I drink, I forget I'm on a plane for a split second, and then I go from thinking I'm not on a plane. I'll just get another drink, and then I'll go. I need a wee. I'll go to the toilet. So go for piss, and then I'll be walking back to my seat, and then all of a sudden, the shocking realization of the amount of distance between my feet and the ground come into my head. Oh shit! I'm fucking in a metal coffin, hundreds of miles up in the air.
Yeah,
I hate it.
but the good news is you won't live through it, so relax.
Yeah, no, but I feel like it would take a long time to stop. I always try and sit in the middle of the plane because that seems to be the bit where the wings are. Always seems, yeah. They did big tests, didn't they? You don't want to be in the front of the plane. You don't want to be at the back of the plane. First class, fucked.
Well, they deserve it.
Yeah, first class, cheap seats, out of it. If you can just go for like the premium section where you haven't got the big reclining seats, but you still get free booze, that's the bit to be in.
I like window seat.
Window seat. I don't like being by the doors.
I love being by the doors.
No, you sit down. You go, in the event of an emergency, and like in the event of emergency, why don't you just fuck off? Like it's a door handle. I can work a door handle, and I'm not being paid to take responsibility for the lives of the rest of these people.
No, I just want to be the first one off.
I fucking
when the flames burst out from the fuel, I'm gonna make sure I'm in the field.
I'm a one. Oh my god! Could you imagine the piss boiling I could do though? Like, I love it irritating people. If I was to open the door and close it behind me, like, sorry about the draft.
Yeah, 35,000 feet. It's going to be interesting. But yeah, it's it is what it is. But anyway, the flight was fun, and I joke now that I'm basically Maverick, having piloted a plane for 20 seconds. And I used to think my midlife crisis would be flying a plane. Because I have a lot of friends who are pilots. And they obviously they have planes, and they're like, yeah, we'll go up, we'll do it. It's like, yeah, man, I've flown with them before, and they've never given me the controls, which I mean, it makes total sense. They shouldn't. I was like, but I want to learn. After handling his little daredevil aircraft, man, I want to learn. I'm good. I'm totally fine.
People just die in light aircrafts. It's a fact. People die in light aircrafts.
You got to be a good pilot
all the time.
The closer you are to the ground, the better a pilot you need to be.
Helicopters, fuck helicopters as well. Like those little light helicopters, yeah, they go all the time.
Yep.
I mean, like helicopters, they shouldn't even fly. If we're honest, they're in a constant state of falling. Like you go up so high, and then to move forward through the air, you have to fall at a controlled rate.
Yes.
No, not having that.
Yeah.
That's a fucking terrible idea. Imagine if you had a car and the way you got around was just slowly crashing.
That's kind of how I drive.
It's kind of how I live my life, actually.
That's why I got the bumper guards out of plate steel all over my truck. There's a lot more damage to everyone else than it does me.
I think at the 1 hour 25 minutes mark, maybe we start wrapping the podcast up tonight, because we came in dry, and
we're leaving them wet.
Now we're leaving wet. I'm going to try and have a think and like get a proper, like a themed episode again for next week.
Oh, that's no fun.
Thank you, Dave, for coming on. I'm glad you fixed the train derailments for me. We got to the bottom of that.
Hey, as far as the government knows, I have nothing to do with those.
Hey, listen. I'm almost convinced that whatever happened there, the guys on the payroll. So, I'm sure they're fully aware of who's doing that.
They're not out
like
of my office.
Well, no. Like I said at the top of the podcast, if you're gonna do stuff like support the podcast, do the thing, do the stuff with the channel following and the patron and the sharing of the thing. I'm so good at this. Just give us money. Just give us money. We'll keep doing stuff. That's what it is. Like it's as simple as that. Other than that, I will. I'll see you later. I should have. I'm so bad. Why am I so bad at this tonight? I mean, more worse than usual. I haven't even got the cool music to end the show queued up.
Sexual frustration.